The phone slipped from my fingers, crashing onto the hardwood floor with a sharp crack that shattered the silence in our living room like a gunshot. Her words burned into my mind, searing my vision. A queen knows when to leave the table when respect is no longer served. The post glared back at me from her public Instagram, timestamped just an hour ago. Beneath a photo of her in that emerald dress, the very one I gifted her for our 5th anniversary, she smiled. But those eyes, the eyes I had memorized over 10 years, held a cold, unfamiliar sharpness that cut deep into my chest, squeezing my lungs like a vice. Who was she talking about? And why did it feel like she'd just carved my heart out with a blunt knife? The house was eerily quiet. The kids were with my mother, and I had come home early from the office, hoping to surprise her with takeout from the Thai place she adored. The unopened bag sat on the kitchen counter, the scent of lemongrass twisting sour in the air. My thumb trembled as I scrolled through her post again, the comments a blur of fire emojis and yes, queen from her friends, but one message stood out in stark clarity: "You deserve better, girl. Walk away." My stomach churned with bitterness. Better than what? Better than me? I'd seen the signs for months but buried them under comforting excuses. The late nights at her graphic design firm, the way she angled her phone just out of my line of sight when texting, the rehearsed laughter when I asked about her day. "Just work stress," she'd say softly, her voice distant, like a fading radio signal. I believed her because I wanted to believe, because loving her was the only truth I'd ever known. The front door clicked open, yanking me from my spiraling thoughts. "Evan," Leia's voice floated in, light but cautious as if testing the air. I stood frozen in the kitchen, the phone still glowing in my hand. Her heels clicked against the floor with a slow, deliberate rhythm, each step counting down to a confrontation I wasn't ready for. "Hey, you're home early," she said, stepping into the light. That dress, the one from the photo, hugged her curves perfectly, the emerald fabric shimmering under the dim chandelier glow. She looked like a painting, beautiful, untouchable. But when her eyes met mine, her smile faltered, cracking the illusion. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. I raised the phone, voice barely above a whisper. "What's this, Leia?" Her eyes flicked to the screen, and for a fleeting moment I saw it, panic, raw and unguarded, before she masked it with a shaky laugh. "Oh, that's just a silly post. You know how I get with my captions." She reached for the takeout bag, busying herself with the containers, but her hands betrayed her, trembling ever so slightly. "Don't," I said, sharper than I intended. "Don't lie to me. Not now." The words tasted like ashes on my tongue. I wanted her to laugh it off, to call me paranoid, to pull me into her arms and make the world make sense again. But she didn't. She just stood there, lips parted as if searching for a script she hadn't rehearsed. "Evan, it's not what you think," she finally whispered, voice low, almost pleading. "Can we just talk?" "Then talk," I said, throat burning. "Who's not respecting you? Who's this queen walking away from?" She set the takeout containers down, fingers lingering on the edge like it was a lifeline. "It's not about you," she said, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. "It's complicated." Complicated. I stepped closer. The space between us thickened with unspoken truths. 10 years. Leia. 2 kids. A mortgage. A life. And here you are, posting cryptic messages like I'm a stranger you've outgrown. Tell me what's going on. Her silence screamed louder than any confession. The kitchen clock ticked mercilessly, each second pounding in my skull like a hammer. I thought of the late-night texts, the client meetings stretching past midnight, the phone she'd started locking, the red flags I'd painted over with trust. "Evan, I didn't mean for this to happen," she whispered, voice cracking under the weight of confession. "It just did." My knees threatened to buckle, but I caught myself on the counter. "What did?" I asked, though I already knew. The truth crept across the room like a shadow, cold and inevitable. "His name is Marcus," she said, and my world tilted on its axis. "He's a client." It started as nothing, coffee, work, but then, her voice trailed off, tears welling in her eyes. "He saw me, Evan. Really saw me. Not the mom. Not the wife. Just me." I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand how she could throw away everything we built for someone who merely looked at her. But all I could choke out was, "And I didn't?" She flinched as if my words were a slap. "You did. You do. But it's different. You're safe. Predictable. Ease." She stopped, and the word hung heavy between us. Exciting. The room spun. I saw us in fractured moments, our first date at that dingy dive bar, her laughter echoing over cheap beer, the way she clung to me when our daughter was born, the nights we stayed up dreaming of futures long buried. Had it all been a lie? How long? I whispered, voice hollow. 6 months, she admitted, the number blazing in the silence between us. Half a year of secrets, her slipping away while I lay beside her, oblivious. I turned away, staring at the fridge plastered with our children's drawings, the grocery list in her handwriting. Do you love him? I asked quietly. She didn't answer immediately, and that silence was a wound deep enough. I don't know, she finally said. I love you, Evan. I do. But I need to figure out who I am outside of us. Her words felt like a death sentence, but they weren't the end. Not yet, I said, grabbing my keys. My hands trembled so violently I struggled to hold them. I'm going for a drive, I said, because staying would break me. Evan, wait, she called after me, but I was already out the door, the night air biting at my skin as I disappeared into darkness. I drove without direction, city lights blurring through the tears I hadn't realized were falling. My phone buzzed, her name flashing on the screen, but I ignored it. Then another notification, a new Instagram post. Against every instinct, I pulled over and opened it. It was a photo from our wedding day, her radiant in white, me grinning like I'd won the lottery. The caption read, "Sometimes you don't know what you have until you're about to lose it." My heart stopped. Was it regret? A plea? Or just another cruel game? I sat there, engine idling, the weight of 10 years pressing down against the truth of 6 months. I could turn back, fight for her, demand answers, or I could let her go, let her find whatever it was she thought she'd lost. The road stretched before me, dark, endless. For the first time in a decade, I had no idea where it would lead.